Hello. How you doing? I'm going to talk to you today about this. What the Lord says. Now, what the Lord is telling me, this is in my regular Bible study. I take copious notes. Is that this is a time of judgment. He's going to judge. He's going to judge this country. He's going to judge the church. He's going to judge the world. That's the impression I get. He says he will take away from Jerusalem, Isaiah 31, the stock in the store of bread and water. So I do urge you to stock up on canned goods, possibly bread and water. Because I'm just warning you that this is going to happen, because the Lord said this is going to happen. Okay, He doesn't want His children starving. Okay. He said He's going to judge the false prophets and diviners. So judgment's coming to all these false prophets. Everyone will be against his neighbor. He will declare their sin. He's going to expose the sin like He usually does. He pulls the covers off of sin. He's going to expose the sin of pastors and prophets and so on. That's already happened, right? Okay. Children are their oppressors. I mean, really, we are oppressed by children. We are afraid to even go out because we don't know if we're going to get carjacked at gunpoint. We don't know if we're going to come out of Aldi's and the 14-year-old will hold a gun to our head and say, give me some money. And all we have is electronic money. Okay? So He's going to judge all those pastors and prophets that have gotten rich because, look, Jesus said we're too dumb to be rich. Jesus said we're too dumb and stupid to be rich. So how these pastors and preachers become rich? Why? Off of the faces of the poor. He said grinding the faces of the poor. Okay? They've gotten rich off of exploiting the poor. Because the poor people are always looking for hope. He's condemned the daughters of Zion wearing all this probably sexy clothing, if you want to call it sexy. We're trying to be like the world. LaShawn Pace talked about that, wearing all these, inappropriate clothing. And he said, don't be like the world. He said there's going to be no protection. He said even the mighty men are going to run. I mean, now, if we call the police, you can say, well, the police, so happened. They're going to say, oh, okay, well, thank you for telling us. Bye. You can't even depend on the police now. The police not going to do nothing about nothing. You better make sure you're armed and dangerous. Okay, because the police aren't going to do nothing about nothing. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil. They don't make a difference between the holy and unholy, the profane and the non-profane. What I'm hearing is indignation, wrath. He's going to pour out His indignation and wrath. Okay? There's going to be a lot of robbery. They're already doing that. Stealing. Electronics. I mean, they stealing, blabbing and grabbing, smashing and grabbing. They're already doing that. He's also saying He's going to judge these false prophets for divining lies. That's what He calls it, divining lies. Okay? He's going to make the church a heap of ruins. He's going to make Jerusalem a heap of ruins. Just like in Jeremiah 9:11, He's going to make the church a heap of ruins. There's so much sin in the church. Let's get real for a minute. But on the other hand, the Lord says He's going to exercise loving kindness. Okay, He's going to exercise loving kindness and tender mercy. So I urge you to get saved. Make sure your children are saved. Do children go to hell? Depends on the Lord does not define a child like we define a child. We define a child as up to 17. That's not how the Lord defines a child. The Lord defines a child, if they can discern between good and evil. So, like if a child, 12-year-old's out there selling drugs and he gets killed, yes, he probably will. Most likely he will go to hell because selling drugs is wrong. If a 13-year-old's out there carjacking people at gunpoint and he gets shot and killed, yeah, he will go to hell. They ain't going to hell. Why? Because the Lord does not discern call a child the way we call a child. We need to get out of that culture. A child is anyone under 18 because that's not how the Lord discerns a child. So my understanding is that there are children in hell. That's what my understanding is. What we call children under age 18. My understanding is that they are in hell. There are some in hell. he says the the house of the churches are full of deceit and unrighteousness. And really, how much, taking a bribe to say something? How many times? Look, how much money? I always wonder how much money did the Republican Party give the preachers to endorse him. I've always wondered about that. I mean, some are not going to get out of bed for less than $1 million. Okay, I've always wondered about how much did the Republican Party of Trump pay these preachers to endorse him. Okay, I've always wondered about that. But they're going to be killing the children, killing the men. If you robbing a store, it was not worth going to hell over. Yeah, if you get shot and killed in the midst of robbing a store, you're gonna be dead and going to hell. And it wasn't even worth the $200. Okay. He said, early in the morning, I will destroy all the wicked of the land. Okay, he's gonna cut off the head and tail from Israel. Okay, it's not gonna be nothing left of the church because they're in so much sin. The leaders calls you to err. And he said there's a conspiracy among the leaders. And you take like a lot of the preachers, they starting to look like, act like, and sound like clones. They talk alike, act alike, they preaching the same thing. And they all in the same secret organization. And see, once you are in a secret organization, Jesus is out of the picture. Jesus is totally out of the picture, because once you're in a secret organization, I don't care what the name of it is, you become a devil worshiper automatically. So a lot of these preachers, they're in this, first, there's a conspiracy, because they all start sounding like, acting like, etc. Clones, okay? And they're all in the same secret organization. And so at that point, they become devil worshipers. There's a conspiracy among them. I don't know if any of this, I could probably count on one hand, two, that I think are still with Christ. And maybe that's not even accurate. Maybe it's just one. Okay, I can only think of one or two. Okay, they're still with Jesus. Okay, maybe there's three, but I can only think, maybe there are more. I don't know of any. Okay, but they're starting to look like clones. They look alike, act alike, sound like, preaching the same stuff, same old boring stuff. You're going to be fine in 2009. They just preaching the same thing, okay? Nothing new. Because every time I read the word, I get something new. The word is just new every time I read it. But, they're just not different. They all in the same organization. They all are devil worshipers. They preach by day and devil worshipers by night. And they look alike. They starting to look alike, sound alike, act alike. Clones, I guess. But God is going to pass judgment. That's the word I'm getting from the Lord. Is judgment, indignation, and wrath. Have a nice day.